Hi, in this video I will show you how to put together this Garage Workshop pop-up card, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So this Garage Workshop pop-up card was one of the first files that actually SVG designs that I offered. Excuse me. And I found when I was updating the file recently that it had some opportunity for improvement. So I didn't improve it 100%, but I improved it a lot. So if you do have this file already, what you might want to do is get the new file. If you want the written instructions, they're slightly different because I designed it. I changed some things to make it slightly easier and color match some of the things together. So just be aware. If you have the old file and you want to continue using that file because you already have it prepped, then you're just going to want to keep the old instructions. Or you can kind of watch this. It'll be the same. There's just some changes. One of the changes from the old file is there used to be a little dot that you cut out, which is teeny. I just have it cut out in a background piece. So I don't have it here. It's in here somewhere. I need to find it. It's a metallic piece right here. So instead of doing the dot, so that's one of the changes, and the file's organized way better than it was originally. So there's always room for improvement when I reorganize things, but for somebody new to this file, then that's not going to make a difference to you. So let's go ahead and start. So we have all these files, these pieces, and there's a lot of pieces to this. So there's a bunch of teeny pieces. So you do have the option, just when you look at, you have a PDF file, and it shows you the sizes and everything, just in case, the width, if you need to resize. And some of the elements in the extra stuff folder that's included are these little layered tools. So if you wanted to, you could layer them, and then you can go ahead and print and cut if your machine is capable of doing that. So you could change the colors, you can make that blue, that red, that kind of thing. So this shows you all the files that are in and a brief explanation what they are. So I reorganized them to make it a little easier, especially for those that don't have a machine like Cricut that sorts the maps by colors. For scan and cut, you kind of have to choose the colors you're going to cut, as well as the silhouette and a couple other machines. So with that said, we have all these pieces. So I'm going to do one. Let's do the tools first because the tools are small, need to be pieced together, and then we'll do. So we're going to go ahead and find those pieces in here. I'm going to do it with you rather than just dump them out. So just make sure, I'm just going to dump them out and then take what I don't need out. Looks like I think most of this is stuff I need. So it is. So this is for the, you can't see that really well, but that's for the saw. The hammer's only 2 pieces. So we just go ahead and, so we're going to layer that piece over that for the saw, and this piece over that for the hammer. And this is part of the, over here, I'll show you in a minute. So I could have made the screwdrivers a little bit different, but I selected, when we're trying to figure out how to layer something and how to present it to you to cut it, as a designer we have to make a decision. So I made a decision on the screwdrivers, but the wrenches we need to do nothing with. So I'm just going to put those back in my little embellishment bowl so I don't lose them. So this, what we need is the handle. So the handles are the same size for both of them. So we have one that's longer than the other. So that'll go like this. And then you have to find the right tip. So this is a flathead. So one other thing I want to mention here, and these 3 go together, and these are all that. So that's part of workshop. But what I want to make sure that you understand as far as the size of these are really small. So if you don't like them that small, you can blow them up a little bit, as big as you want. I try to keep them kind of proportional, but with the card, that's why the card is 5 by 7 and it's not 4.5 It's not A2 size, which is 4.25 by 5.5. So there's a reason for that. So let's go ahead and we'll just... So you can make the screwdrivers a little bit larger if you feel that's difficult for you. And if you need to know what it looks like, remember to reference the pictures. So this piece is the end piece. Again, it's kind of small, but... And then this goes right over the edge of the blue piece. Like that. I'm just double checking. Oh, it's right there. So even for me, sometimes it's difficult because I made this card a long time ago. So yeah, that just goes to the end right like that. So I like to put them together kind of the way they need to be before I glue them together. And I'm going to use my little fine tip applicator, which is glitter glue, to glue them together. So I won't talk through this piece, so you can just go ahead and we'll just go quickly through this next part so you can watch me piece them together. So as you can see, they're very small pieces. This one I kind of pulled on the black a little bit, so it's a little bit not as strong. So if you do that, you can always do another black piece on the back. I accidentally pulled on that a little bit. So we'll put that down. So we'll put all those in there. So the next thing you want to do is pull these pieces out. This is the tool chest. Not quite that one yet, because that doesn't come until a little bit later. So we want this piece that goes behind there, and we'll need this piece. So for this one, I show you not in the screen, sorry about that. So we have these pieces. That's the little black piece. So we're just going to glue this metallic piece. So these are the metallic drawers. So you want to piece that on there like that. That'll be the front of the smaller set of drawers on the top. And then we'll put this piece on top. So just be careful around the openings. You want to make sure you don't get too close because we don't want to be able to see the glue, especially on metallics. So if you have any glue on your fingertips, be really careful, which I have a little bit on my left thumb right now. So we just want to line it up. So that's why I don't put glue all the way to the edge. So I have a little bit of glue leaking through here. Not going to touch it quite yet. So I have this wet paper towel that I'm just trying to wipe this. It's just damp. It's just something I keep so I can get it off my fingertips or off the paper. Then right here we'll go ahead and, oops, you want to put glue on this piece, not that piece. We'll make that the bottom. So that this thin piece here. So make sure you go the correct way. So I didn't go the right way. Let's see if I can wipe that glue off without it being seen. So if you need to, if something like this happens to you, you might want to recut it. So I was able to get the glue off. And I have enough glue on the back of this still to adhere it. Sometimes I think showing you mistakes is a good thing. So we have that piece together ready to go. So I'm going to put that up there for now. Let's go ahead and piece together just a couple more things. So this is the pegboard. So I'm making sure the textured side is up because I'm using American Craft textured cardstock. So this one, just be careful when you glue it. You want to make sure you keep the glue away from the open holes so they don't show through. So I'm just going right down the middle. So I do use a certain kind of fine tip applicator with my art glitter glue, and I do note it in the notes. There's others out there, but this is the one in this video that I'm currently using. Because over time I do change and try different things, and I'm evaluating a new glue right now, so we'll see if I switch. I do like art glitter glue. Sometimes I like a couple different glues, so you don't have to stick to one glue. I have 3 that I kind of like right now. So when you put this on, because there's glue all over the back, you're going to want to match it up to one section. So I'm going to start with the short section. I'm just going to lightly place it down. See, and I didn't put any glue towards the openings too much, so I'd have a little wiggle room without getting the glue showing through. So it's a little black showing on the edge, but that's okay. So the last one we want to, so it's just easier to get everything kind of pre-folded. So this is the work table. So I just folded it in half, so that'll be the pop-up portion. You can go ahead, you could glue this on now if you wanted to, or later. I think we're going to wait a little bit later. I want to ink the edge of this. We can ink the edge of this too, so let me just grab my, this is a really old ink, chalk ink that I'm using from Quick Quotes. It's kind of hard to find. I had a bunch from, the time I used to go to scrapbooking conventions a lot. 10 plus years ago or so. So they give them out, or I bought some. My friend bought me a little set, but they're hard to find. But I do like them. They just, you can tell it's falling apart. It's not fun. So I'm going to use little foam tape. I'm going to just attach this right now, just to make it easier and get all our piecing out of the way. Now popping it up, because it's a door, you can just do it flat. If you ink it, it kind of gives the edges. And it's the same distance up and down, because that's the nature of a pop-up, for it to pop out the way it does. So you can use any foam tape, really. But I'm just going to get this little piece right there. This is a little door handle piece. You could put anything you wanted to. You could put the brad or enamel dot, something like that. So I'm just going to add that. So I know it's not flat, so it would be hard to so if you're going to put a pop-up element, you might want to hold off, but that's up to you and how comfortable you are. So then we have the card. Here's the card piece, which is just one score in the middle. And then we're going to put that aside. And we want the pop-up piece, this part, which it has 2 cuts on each side and a fold in the middle. So the way it's going to fold out, it's going to fold. So let me do this right here. Just fold it down like this. This is the hard part about doing written instructions when you have a pop-up. And when you fold it naturally, so this is going to be the inside, I'm going to pop this out and the pop-up's going to fold like this. So there's some fold lines on the top and bottom here, right here. So you can kind of train them by going that way. And the way it's going to fold is, so you want to train it in like that. And gently fold on the score line. So you may have to train the score lines a little bit right here, the top and bottom. But once you get it going, it's prepped for the insert. So you see that's how it's going to insert and open. And this is the top where there's that cut line right there. That's going to be a guide for placing the top of the tool chest. So what we want to do is to take these 2 pieces and we're going to glue them onto this insert. Now what you can do before you glue them on, before you glue this part on, I just forgot to add it, is we can glue this little piece down here. So you could put I put the big part on the bottom indicating the larger drawer, but you could put it either way really. So whatever you think looks best. I just think it would be, even though previously in my previous instructions I said to put this on last, I think it's easier to put it on earlier. And make sure you're putting it on the part without a score line. There's a score line up here. Make sure you're gluing this part to the section without the score line. They're both the same size. Sorry I didn't mention that. And here, it doesn't matter which side you put it on. You just want it to be, the little circular part, to be towards the middle. Because it's going to go like this. Because that indicates like the lock portion. So now let's go ahead and take these 2 pieces right here. And we're going to add it to here. So this is going to go to the left, the other one's going to go to the right. So it helps that it's already folded. So you want to get that pop-up part folded and then fold this piece like this. So we're going to go over and match that fold to the fold on this wood piece, work table piece I would say. And you can kind of place it, but be careful about, make sure you're folding it while you're doing it. Make sure you're in the right place. Once you get it in the right place, it's folding okay, you can go ahead and add pressure to get it on there. And mine's a little bulkier because I've got that little foam tape thing. So if you wanted, you could put the table on the right too. It's up to you. So this one we're just going to put on the other side. So once we get it pieced, it goes together lickety split. The biggest thing here is just making sure that you match this fold to the inside of that fold right there. So I'm just bending it, making sure that I have it in the right place, which I do. So you can see this is coming along now. So we can go ahead and add this piece too. So the way this is going to go, this edge right here should match up to the little cut, that cut piece right there from the red. So you can match that up. So the way it's going to go, it's going to sit like this. So you can do it in the middle. Center it. Then you're going to fold this over, and that fold right there, that tab fold, is going to line up with that cut line. So it just helps us line it up. That's all those two cut lines are doing, is helping us line it up. So you're going to cut it. So if you want it centered, so it looks like the little top part is centered, you want to move it over. I realize I didn't center that cut line, but all it is a guide. So it's going to fold like that, but we're going to go like this. And I'm centering it right here. And I'll just make sure in the final file it's centered, because I'm releasing it. So I'm releasing it right after I get this video done. So we'll just center that line. So after you get it glued, you want to make sure you fold it down like that. Make sure that this folds okay and all flat. So it's a bulky card, not gonna lie, but it's fun. So I mean, you could also do a different color here on this paper. I did it in white in the file, but you could always do a different color. But I'm going to put the floor in a minute. But let's put the insert in. Now the one thing I did change with this since the original version is the size of the insert. It's slightly smaller than the card, and it was the same size as the card before, so if you didn't get it in, it would overlap. So there's a possibility you can do that here. So we're only going to glue one side, so don't go all the way to the edge. You could glue the back of you can glue it on the back edges too. So if you wanted to, you could add glue to right here. And we're going to want to do that anyways. I went all the way across. We don't want to go all the way across. Okay. So there's a blooper, but I'm not taking it out. So you want to make sure you don't get glue to that middle because we have that pop-up. So you can go ahead, I just started there. So you could go ahead and add glue in here. I'm only doing one side. So I'm going to make a mental note of what side I do. But don't get it too close to the edge. We want to try to get it matched in the card if possible. So we're going to line this up. I'll make sure I'm lining those up. Oops. So if you need to jiggle it a second, you do have a little room to get it placed. One thing that always bothered me about the card is that it didn't center. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I mean, if you did put it in wrong, it didn't work really well. So then once you get that first side glued, it's going to help us with the second. So you can see it almost shows, kind of shows around if you get it offset a little bit. That's why I make a white card actually. so that's not as noticeable if it does happen. I kind of need these wide sections, else I would have made it smaller. I didn't want to make the tools any smaller. So we're going to carefully place that down. And then apply pressure around like that. So you can, before that, you could have decorated the card. I forgot to tell you that. I didn't cut them out, but there's optional mats. So layered. So if you want a layered look, there's 2 mats with different that are slightly the first one is slightly smaller than this, and the next one is smaller than that. So then you can add your own sentiment to the front. So this is only for the inside, really. I wanted to keep this card affordable. So for me to redo the whole thing, I would have to I don't want to price it up a little bit. So let's go ahead and get the floor. So there's the floor. You're just going to line it up and place it in. So I used an embossing folder to get the embossed look. I'm just going to center it. And then for this is just going to go like that. So I just placed the tools on arbitrarily how I wanted to. I've seen people do extras, or they put them on the front of the toolbox, however you want to do it. But it's just going to go like this. So whatever looks visually pleasing to you. I didn't put the drill up there because typically it wouldn't be up on a pegboard. So that's just going to go on top of the work table. So there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, you can pull it up. I'm going to pull it up a little bit. Of course, I'm putting it upside down so I can see how it's centered. Then we're going to go ahead and just glue this on here. You could put a little piece of foam tape if you wanted to give it more dimension. And I made this blue instead of red because a lot of people will say they kind of like the red. I was just trying to get it a little bit more colorful, that's all. And that's it. You just need to add your own front piece, whether it be for Father's Day, birthday, that kind of thing. And then when they open it, there it is. It's kind of fun. It's not that hard to make. The hardest part is piecing it together and maybe doing little folds, matching up the folds. So if you've never done a pop-up and you're looking for a fun pop-up card for Father's Day, this is a really popular one for Father's Day or men's birthday. Somebody who works in the garage. And if you did like this video, give me a little thumbs up and or like this video. And if you feel like it, give me a little subscribe down there. And if you hit the bell, then you'll be notified when we have new videos. So that's it. Thanks for watching.